Hey everybody, how is it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over the current market trading day and let you know what I think about today's price action and if we're getting close to a bottom or not. And then I'm going to get into the trades that I made today. I kind of got screwed over on both of them, so I'm going to be going over those for your viewing pleasure, give you guys a nice laugh at my expense to start your weekend. You know, my loss is your gain. I'm here for you. Anyway, let's get into the market action. This is the QQQ, and this is the daily chart. And by the way, none of this is, financial advice. It's all just my opinion. In fact, everything I'm going over is definitely all just my opinion. So please make all of your own trading decisions. But looking at today's price action, I was a little encouraged when the day started. It started to move down. I was kind of hoping we were going to get one of these big moves down and then a midday reversal and kind of, close at or near the high of the day, because that's usually a pretty decent reversal sign, but we are not getting it. We had a little bit of a bounce earlier, but it's getting sold into. So if I had to guess, this is probably not the bottom. I mean, sometimes the bottoms can come in with this kind of price action, but more often than not, you need a nice little reversal candle at the bottom. Now the trading day is not over, so if the day reverses and heads up towards the high of the day, ends up over 360 on the QQQ, that could be a decent enough signal for a turnaround. And if I do see that, I'll probably end up, taking a position to the long side. But normally what I want to see is, something like this. I want to see a nice bottoming tail. And if it closes with a green candle near the high of the day, that is even better. But normally when the market indices are pulling back, you like to see some bottoming tails. You had a nice little morning star formation right here. These little tails, they weren't as compelling, but once you got that morning star signal, that was a pretty good indicator to jump into the market. Here's a couple of them right here, but you see them all the time. Right here we didn't get one, at least not that good of one. This one wouldn't have been all that great of a signal, but once the market closes above the 8-period exponential moving average after making this little formation right here, that's a pretty good signal to get in the market. Now, depending on how much leeway you give it, you might have been stopped out here, but once it turned right back around and jumped back above the 8-period exponential moving average, that was definitely a indicator to get back in the market if you were out, because we made a nice little higher low. Boom, right back over that 8-period exponential moving average, this white line. A lot of people call that the T line or the trigger line. That usually tells you to get in or out. And as you can see, it usually gets you in the market, pretty close to the bottoms. But let me go just a little bit further back just to give you a couple more examples. I mean, in this formation right here, this wasn't a perfect bottoming formation, and this doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works more often than it doesn't. So those type of signals where they happen more often than not, they are right. Those are the ones you want to look for in your trading, because in trading, you're just trying to get the odds in your favor. But this little formation right here was a little bit sloppy, had to move up into that 8-period exponential moving average, so that is not the signal to get in. Once it pulls back, and this little candle right here was pretty telling, because it gapped all the way down here and then was bought up the rest of the day. So this little formation right here is telling you that the buyers are starting to get in control and they're starting to outnumber the sellers. And then once it jumps back above that 8-period exponential moving average and closes above it, that's another good signal to get back into the market. But right here, we had a very nice bottoming tail. This was a bit of a fantastic signal. The next day would have been hard to not get shaken out. But when you have one of these bottoming candles, you just want to put your stop below that candle that made that bottoming signal. Just because you get a bottoming signal like this doesn't mean the next day has to be up. We just have to have a higher low than the previous day, which we got. So, here was another bottoming tail right here. We didn't have much follow through, but I mean, these are just the kind of signals that you are looking for. Go back just a little bit further, but I think you guys are getting the point. Right here, we had a couple of them in a row. And then we had a little bit of a morning star candle right here. So this is some pretty good information that the market is probably bottoming. And then right here had another bottoming candle and then another bottoming formation. If you don't get a clear-cut bottoming candle, or at least when I am trading, if I don't get a clear-cut, beautiful bottoming candle like this one right here, then I start getting a little bit of a cluster like this, I just get ready, because once we get that close above that 8-period exponential moving average, chances are you're probably going to get some follow-through to the upside. So let me go a little bit further, take a look at a couple other ones. I guess we have gotten all the way back to the COVID collapse, and you can see that there was several bottoming tails down here, all kinds of, volatility at this bottom. But once you got all these bottoming tails and boom, a jump above that 8-period exponential moving average, that was a pretty good signal to get back in the market. And, that is just what I am looking for here with the QQQs. Let me go back to the present day. And, we're just not seeing it. And the way the market is looking like it's going to close, I bet we're going to close near the bottom on the day. Hopefully we get a reversal. But just by the way it's looking, guys, I don't think we're getting a bottom today. All right, and for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to get into the trades that happened today, and I'm actually going to start with the one that did not happen. It should have happened. I don't know why it didn't happen, but I'll get into that. But before I do, I just want to let you know that I do have a Patreon group. So if you'd like to join our little trading community, the link is down there in the description. It's only $10 a month, and I'm in the Discord every single day. Plus, I try to put up a pre-market video every single day just to show you the stocks that I am looking at, and if I see anything else significant in the market. And also, if you don't mind liking the smash button, I'd really appreciate it. That helps out the channel. But now let's get into this ridiculous trading action. I actually tried to buy some options on the QQQ when it looked like the QQQ was bottoming. So let's go to the intraday chart. Let me zoom it out a little bit, show you what I was seeing. Let's go back a little bit more. But this is when the market opened. It gapped down and moved up a little bit and then started to roll over. So I was looking for a bottoming formation. We got it right here. We had this nice little thrust up. And if you guys are familiar with my channel, I absolutely love this pattern. Some people call it a J hook. Some people call it a little bit of a rounded bottom. Whatever you call it, get that little thrust move up. If it pulls back and kind of gets cradled by those moving averages and it looks like it's finding some support, what I like to do is look for that ceiling. And normally when I'm trading stocks, when I'm day trading, the gap up in the morning, I'll just put like a buy stop a little bit above that ceiling that I see getting formed. So I get stopped in and I try to catch this move right here. Now what happened, I tried to buy the $361 call option. It was trading at $1.42 on the bid and $1.44 on the ask when I put in my order. I put it in for $1.50. I like to put my option orders in just a little bit higher just to make sure I get filled. And for some reason, I did not get filled. I flipped it back to the option chain as it was breaking out. And I thought I was in, and I saw it starting to run, and I went over to my fill page to see exactly what price I got filled at, and it was still sitting there. So for whatever reason, they decided not to fill my order. By the time it got up here, that call option was at about 210, so that would have been a pretty nice gain in a matter of 3 minutes, and I probably would have taken some profit, if not all of it, off right when it got up to about 361. Actually, with a day like this where, there was probably a pretty good chance for a nice reversal, I probably would have taken, maybe just half of them off right here and tried to take the rest off as it was moving up. But I probably would, honestly, I probably would have been greedy on this trade, thinking that we were probably going to get a nice tradable bottom and, held on to them for a little bit. But I know I would have taken at least half off on this little move up right here. But hey, it is what it is. I don't know why that trade did not get executed. I thought I did it absolutely perfectly, but hey, whatever. Let's get into the next one. All right, so if you liked that one, you are absolutely going to love this one. I tried to day trade BON, Bon Natural Life. They are a drug manufacturer. Actually, I don't even give a damn what they do or what the news is. I'm just trying to catch a momentum trade, and let's get into this ridiculous nonsense. Let me go over to the 1 minute chart. Zoom it out a little bit. Let me situate this chart so it's a little bit easier for us to see. Zoom it in here. Now, the first red flag is it kept getting halted. I hate trading stocks when they keep getting halted, but there wasn't a whole heck of a lot going on, and this one was making a pattern that I like to trade. You guys can see it right there, so I traded it anyway. But it didn't look like it was going to be bad. It looked like it was going to work out absolutely perfect. Stock started pulling back, making this little rounded bottom formation, getting cradled by these moving averages. I saw it was making a little bit of a ceiling. I saw it right about here at about 417, so I put in my order at 418, just above it, and I got filled right here. Got filled at 419. I got a really decent fill for the most part, so that should have told me something was wrong right off the bat, because they try to screw you over by at least 3 or 4 cents on each one of these. But I got a pretty decent fill. The next minute, this thing just started to explode, so I put in my order to take profit at $4.54. So right about here. And then all of a sudden it just got halted again for who knows why. So I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs, saying as soon as this thing opens, I might even get lucky and it'll gap above my price and I'll get even a better fill, but I should have known better, because as soon as they opened it up, they gapped it down and it stopped me out at $3.86, so all the way down here. And actually, I normally would have put my stop loss even higher, but I mean, it just gapped down so fast. I was kind of scrambling to get my stop loss order in, and that ended up being a loss of about 7%. If I could have put my stop loss in where I wanted to, it probably would have only been about 6, but if you're donating to the market, what's 1%, right? But anyway, I don't know how this happens in the market. I mean, maybe you guys can explain this to me. Explain it to me down in the comments section. I'm just trying to be logical here, but you see a candle like this, and obviously buyers are scrambling to buy this stock. There's no sellers in sight. The thing is just screaming up. It gets halted, and then abracadabra, the market maker turns all the buyers into sellers, and it just starts screaming down. And I happened to just get hosed on this one. I was actually thinking about putting my profit target at $4.49, but it was so strong, I got a little bit greedy. I tacked on a little bit more, but that's just the way it goes. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments section if you guys have ever been hosed like this. I just don't understand how, when they halt a stock, it's because there's too much action on one side or the other. So obviously there's too much buying, and then once they reopen the stock, all the buyers are gone. I mean, this is just like the crookedest thing in the world, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. Tomorrow will be another day, or Monday will be another trading day, and I don't risk a whole lot on these trades. But with the way the market has been being lately for everybody, it's kind of nice to win on these day trades. And if I'd have won on both of these today, it would have been a pretty nice day. But hey, it is what it is. And actually, I did make one other trade today. Let me get this thing situated. Jump over. I added to my clean spark position. This thing is just continuing to fade into the abyss. This thing is almost making me feel like I'm in a penny stock, where you just buy into a penny stock and you bought into the hype, and you just keep hearing the stories over and over and over in the message board. I know that's not what Clean Spark is, but it's just kind of making me feel that way, like the penny stocks that I used to trade back in the day. You get kind of too wrapped up in the story, and you just kind of like fade into the abyss with a penny stock, and then they do a reverse split, and then you lose all your money, and then you move on to the next one. But kind of getting that same feeling with the Clean Spark. But all seriousness, Clean Spark has a market cap of under $300 million now, and they have a forward PE of under 5. I mean, it's the valuation on Clean Spark is getting absolutely ridiculous, so I couldn't help but add a little bit more to this position. I think my average cost might be around 11 now, so I'm still down quite a bit in this one. But if Bitcoin ever goes on another run, or even if it kind of just hangs around where it is, and all of the mining capacity that Clean Spark is bringing online this year, start translating into earnings, I think this thing is going to scream. And heaven forbid Bitcoin just go on a massive run. I think some of these Bitcoin miners, and Clean Spark especially, is probably going to go on one hell of a run. Hopefully that's not fantasy. Hopefully Bitcoin doesn't fade into the abyss as well. I don't see how it could. I mean, it seems like Bitcoin is it's too far along to just go to zero like some people are thinking. But that's just my 2 cents. 2 cents. But that's all I got for you. You guys have a great weekend. Well, that's all I have for this one, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave them for me down there in the comments section. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end. And until next time, take care, everybody.